there you are. Well, hello there and welcome to the channel, and in this video we're going to be talking about which is the best Christmas tree for you. Well, that is going to depend on your expectations and requirements, and to be honest with you, there's only kind of three types of Christmas tree. Anyway, so what we'll do is we'll talk about the benefits of each, and I'll tell you which one I think is the best. And so let's get to it. It won't take long because not that many really to choose from. So you effectively get three types of Christmas tree. You get your traditionally cut Christmas tree, you get your pot grown Christmas trees, and then you get your potted Christmas trees. And you might be thinking, pot grown and potted, what's the difference between those two? Well, there's a big difference. I'll go into that in detail shortly, but to start off with, I'll talk to you about the cut Christmas trees, what they are, what types you get, what's the benefits. Come on. So as you can tell, my accent is a little bit Jason Statham, but that's because I was brought up in South London, UK. And in the UK, we tend to get two types of cut Christmas trees. You tend to get your traditional Christmas trees, which is your Picea ABs or your Norway spruce. That's the one that pretty much used to dominate the garden centres for the last 40 years. And then the new boy came in, the AB's Nordmanniana, your Nordmann fir, and that's known as your needle fast tree because it holds on to its needles. There are other types like your Picea armorica and whatever anybody else wants to grow, but these are the ones we tend to get in the UK. So we're talking about the ones that I know about. So there's effectively two types. You got your Norway spruce and you get your Nordmann fir. Right, the benefits of the Norway spruce is that they are fairly inexpensive to buy, and they are fairly inexpensive to send around the country because they don't weigh very much. They are often sort of cut to create a pleasing Christmas tree shape, and also when you get them indoors, they are the best ones for creating that lovely winter pine scent in your house. Right. There's a big downside. Downside of your Norway fir is that they drop needles like a shedding dog, and they're rather sharp, and you'll quite often find your feet full of them in the morning when you go downstairs, which is rather painful. You've got to pull them all out. So it's cheap, smells nice, all the needles fall off very, very quickly. So typically people tend to go for the Nordmann fir, the AB's Nordmanniana, because the needles stay on far longer. Now these are both cut plants. Because they're cut, they've got no roots on them. These trees will dry out when they're indoors, when you've got your central heating on, assuming you can afford to have your central heating on nowadays. So between the two of them, so with the Nordmann fir, you don't get that lovely smell. But to be honest with you, your choice is kind of made up for you, because going around all the shops at the moment, you pretty much can only buy Nordmann fir. Now, why is that? Well, that's because the retailers make more money on them. So that's that. That's cut Christmas trees. Right, let's go on to the next one. I forgot something. Oh yes, size. Right. If you're looking at size, you want a big Christmas tree, then the only big Christmas trees you're going to get are going to be the cut Christmas trees. Typically they come in sizes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 feet tall. That's what you find in the shops. You can get larger if you put in special orders, or you might find someone with one just in case. So if you're looking for something tall, and your only choices are going to be your cut Christmas trees, so don't bother looking at the other ones. They are only going to be small. So there you have it. You want big, you want cut. Right, the downside of these cut Christmas trees is that in time they will start to drop their needles. The plant, all plants regulate their temperatures by releasing water to cool down. So in the height of the summer, plants will use huge amounts of water, because if they get over a certain temperature, which somewhere like 40, 42, then the enzymes within the plant cells break down, the plant dies. So what it does, it draws water out of the ground, releases it like a athlete sweating, as he becomes hot, he sweats, cools himself down. Plants do it in a very similar way, and they lose their moisture through stomatal pores, which are on these Christmas trees, will be underneath the needles. If you look underneath the needles, you can see with a microscope the small pores where water is released. So when these trees go indoors, they warm up. The plant tries to cool down by releasing moisture, but because it hasn't got any roots, then the whole tree dries out, it becomes stressed, and as a last ditch attempt of surviving, drops all of its needles. Makes an absolute mess. So that's why they drop their needles, and why people sometimes don't want a cut Christmas tree in a house. So if you don't want that to happen, then your best bet is to buy a pot grown Christmas tree. So let me tell you about your choices there. Ooh, you're going to be able to find quite a wide range of pine or Picea Christmas tree species in the pot grown range. You get your lovely blue spruce, which that colour variation will change because they're seed grown, so you want to get your blue spruce early before the good blue ones go. You'll also find Picea or Morica. You'll find the Nordmann fir. You'll find the Norway spruce. So you'll find a big selection of these Christmas tree species for you to choose from. You just choose what you like the look of. It doesn't really matter. What's important is that it has a viable root system that will then take up water. So when you bring that one indoors into your front room, it will warm up, it will release moisture, and all you need to do is put some water in it, and it will take it up, and then it's got loads of water. It doesn't matter. So the chances of these pot grown Christmas trees dropping their leaves is absolutely minimal. You can improve it by bringing it in as near to the Christmas day as you possibly can. Avoid drafty areas, avoid being next to heat sources such as a radiator or an open fire. But other than that, it doesn't really matter which one you have. And after Christmas, because it's a growing, viable plant, you can put it back out in the garden and plant it, especially if you've got one of those nice blue spruces. I know I keep banging about those, but probably my favourite. So if you don't want needle drop, you don't want to waste, you don't like the idea of cutting trees, throwing them in the bin after, then a pot grown Christmas tree is probably for you. The downside of these, that they're usually quite small. 3 foot, 4 foot, it's probably about as big as you're going to find in pot ground. So that's the downside, but the plus side is that you've actually bought yourself a decent, viable plant you can grow in your garden later. Assuming you want a massive Christmas tree in your garden, because let's be honest with you, these are extremely vigorous plants, because if they weren't, you wouldn't be using Christmas tree production, because if you've got to wait more than 1 or 2 years before you've got a Christmas tree of a certain height, then it's going to be very, very expensive. So we're on to the third and last choice. So I said there wasn't much to choose from, and these are your potted Christmas trees. Now I don't like these because I feel they're being a bit disingenuous. Now a potted Christmas tree is one that has been field grown and then dug up badly with barely any root on it. You know, it tends to be machinery lifted, ripped apart, and it's just clunked into a pot with some wet mud on top, and there you go, that's your plant. And the problem is the root system is often severely impacted. It's generally ruined. There's all the fibrous root system that would take in the water and moisture. That's all ripped off. That's not good. So what you've got is a plant that's just straight out of the ground in a bucket. It's not established in that pot, and because of that, you bring it indoors, it warms up, it will start to drop needles. You can't water it and expect it to take up any moisture because it hasn't got a viable root ball, so you are going to get some needle drop. Now, in most cases, that plant will fail, especially if you bring it in as soon as you can. If you can leave it out, there is the possibility that it will produce some new root, which will then form a viable root ball later on. But on the whole, these are going to die, the same as your cut Christmas trees, because other than yes, the roots have been cut off, but what's left of the root system is next to useless. But there is a benefit, and the benefit is this: they are significantly cheaper than the pot grown Christmas trees, and because it comes with a pot, you don't then need to source a Christmas tree stand. Let's be honest with you, Christmas tree stands are probably as expensive, or if not more expensive, than the flipping Christmas tree that you're about to buy. So there is a benefit. It might save you money. You will still get that Christmassy scent. Should hold its needles longer than a cut similar tree, but I just don't like the idea of them. I don't like the idea of them. So to conclude, if you're looking for a cut Christmas tree and you don't want all the needles dropping off, then you need to go for a AB's Nordmanniana, the needle fast Nordmann fir. If you want to have a pot grown Christmas tree, then my favourite one is the blue spruce. I do like that one very much. And when it comes to potted Christmas trees, I just think you're wasting your money a wee bit, unless of course it just works out financially better for you to buy a tree with a pot rather than buying a tree and then a stand separately. At least that's my opinion, and you might think differently. You may have different Christmas trees where you live that you would like to mention, and you're more than welcome to do so. Just put those in the comment section. Anyway, it's a Merry Christmas. I hope to see you in the next video, and before I go, just check out this last bit. Give you a way of supporting this channel. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Right, now, just before you go, if you want to see more content, more behind the scenes stuff, and images that I've taken of some weird freaky plants over the years, then you're in luck, because we've created an Instagram page. So you can find the link in our description. You can find the link on our main page, and if I'm clever enough, I might be able to get a link somewhere up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more YouTube stuff, then check out this video here. That's quite a good one. And if it doesn't float your boat, then another one right there. And enjoy these while I still got the strength, imagination and aptitude to make them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.